For a person who is 18 to 22, you're starting off your life, you want to do something, you don't know what to do and you don't know who to trust.
Personally, for me, education has always been liberally available, but I also realize there's a part of the society where education is not available as easily as we get it.
Every time you perform, what you want to hear is the claps. And when you're giving information that is fostering change, you don't need applause.
It made me realize that one person can impact the society in a lot of ways.
No other activity in your college can give you that exposure as much as volunteering can. Trust me on this.
Hello and welcome to the episode where we are exploring how we can contribute to any national level initiatives of the government of India. These initiatives could be Digital India, Swachh Bharat. These are initiatives which are relevant and prevalent across India, and these are initiated by change makers who have done extensive research in this, extensive work before they have brought in this initiative pan-India. A certain set of helping hands will go a very long way in creating lasting change. To explain more about why we should consider volunteering in this particular sector, we have Gayathri.
I'm Gayathri and I run two entities, a social enterprise called LabourNet and a not-for-profit called Seva Foundation. Both in a sense work with underprivileged populations. Seva Foundation is largely involved in training. So the main work that we do is set up vocational training centers. So today we have about 100 training centers across the country. And around the training centers, we try to create communities. So that means we look at health, we look at environment, in order for there to be learner's interest and lesson learner absenteeism.
Okay, this is break linear, break liner. Okay, break liner. This name is breakthrough. Okay, this பேர் வந்து break liner. நம்ம க்ளீன் பண்றது இந்த பாட்லாம் break slow தான் க்ளீன் பண்ணோம். எம்ரி ஹீட்ல லைட்டா டெஸ்டா
We call it vocationalization of education, and in education, how do we actually bring empathy in? LabourNet is a for-profit company. So LabourNet provides contracts to workers. Of course, our first is our own training candidates. So today I'm happy to say that we literally have about 150 crores of work which comes through LabourNet for our candidates. Look at how volunteering started for me. It started at the age of 18. When I joined my first year, I'm talking of 1989, the college said that, you have to do something or the other. You have to sign up for SANA activity. So actually I signed up for National Social Service to have Rasna. Delhi is a very hot place. So I thought, every Wednesday afternoon I can go drink some Rasna and come back. That was my view of volunteering in those days. But slowly as I started listening to programs, I developed an affection for some of the children who were coming there. I started teaching one or two children English, mathematics, etc. And by the time I reached my third year, we had a 200 strong group of children who were coming to us. But I think it changed my life. It changed who I am as a person. In your first job interview, what are you going to say? In your first exam that you're going to write in your GRE exam, what are you going to say? You can't say I only do music and dance. There's nothing wrong in music and dance, but assuming you can add some mirchi to music. Assuming you said you did 4 concerts for school children who were in your community in government schools. Somebody's going to ask, how did you do it? Your interview you will crack better. Assuming you're able to, you want to go to a pharma company and you said, okay, health is your interest. They say, listen, you know the health behavior patterns of somebody poor? Somebody's going to listen to you. No other activity in your college can give you that exposure as much as volunteering can. Trust me on this. For a person who is 18 to 22, you're starting off your life, you want to do something, you don't know what to do and you don't know who to trust. Just look up all national missions and see what is the mission which is interesting for you. Lot of people's brain, lot of people's time, lot of people's energy has gone to create those national schemes. National Literacy Mission, Skill India Mission, Ayushman Bharat, Swachh Bharat. Somebody has thought about it. Yes, are they successful? Is for us to make it successful.
So now that we know why we should be considering in this particular line of aiding government in these initiatives, there are a few things you can start off. Polio awareness, vaccine awareness, aiding government when there are natural calamities that happen. But if you want a more sustainable and a stable way of fostering change, there is an exam called as NMMS, which 8th standard students write to avail a scholarship amount. This scholarship amount will be of great value for the children's academic journey. Youth for Seva has been working on this NMMS program since years together, and they have impacted millions of lives. Let us hear it from them as to how you can start adding value in NMMS.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Kirtana and I work as College Relations Coordinator at Youth for Seva. When I say volunteering, it's been a very close part of my life. So this journey began with NMMS. National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme is a government exam which is conducted for the 8th standard students. Once the student is able to complete that examination and clear that exam, the student will be eligible for a scholarship amount of ₹12,000 per year for 4 consecutive years. At the end of the day, the student who is able to clear this examination are those students who are extremely good at their studies and are able to pursue their higher education. So here are a few steps that you need to follow if you want to start this project in your particular locality. Step 1, to keep the permissions in place. Recognize what are the permission required in your particular locality to teach at a government school. Step 2 is to acquaint yourself with the knowledge. It's time that you go through the syllabus of NMMS and identify the topics and go back to your old school textbooks and do the necessary practice before you can become a teacher. And also don't forget to refer all the modules available on multiple different platforms so that you are at your best when you stand in the position of a teacher. Step 3 is to start teaching at schools. The first thing you would do will be to match your academic calendar along with the school's schedules. If you're finding it hard to take the permissions or to find the modules which can help you with your preparations for the prescribed syllabus, everything that you need to get started is mentioned in the description below.
This has given me a different perspective about education, and personally for me, education has always been liberally available, but I also realize there's a part of the society where education is not available as easily as we get it.
It made me realize that one person can impact the society in a lot of ways. I used to think that's not possible. Now, because I did it, because I was part of it, I realize how much one person can have an impact.
So whenever you're coming forward and volunteering for such a program, you should always be thorough with your basics and have lots of patience and be a part of them, try to understand what and where they're coming from and teach from the basics.
The biggest challenge for me was the language barrier. They know specific words in Kannada which we as people who studied in English medium don't. Trying to understand what language they understand and teaching it that way is very helpful.
This exam might not mean much to you, but this could be the deciding factor of a child continuing their education or dropping out forever. Have you heard of e-Shram? Or have you heard of ABHA? No, I'm not talking about your classmates. e-Shram is a card which is given for workers, especially construction workers. An ABHA card, technically each and every one of us are supposed to have an ABHA card to track our medical record, and most of us don't know about it. This is just one or two examples of the many different initiatives brought in by the government which we are not aware of. Most of the times, this particular issue is the reason why some of these initiatives are taken back. With this simple framework, you will help them enroll in this program and take the benefits which are meant for them.
e-Shram card ಈ ತರ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ.
ನೀವು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಆ ನಂಬರಿಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Hello, my name is Driti and I'm a volunteer at Youth for Seva. Today I'm here to talk about the e-Shram card and its benefits with our unorganized sector workers. the e-Shram card is a social security card that was issued by the Government of India in August 2021. This card basically provides monetary benefits for those in times of death or any kind of accidental injuries. It also provides support for those in the unorganized sectors during natural disasters or any other illnesses that come naturally like COVID. Volunteers who are really enthusiastic to help people around them in the unorganized sector avail the benefits of national level initiatives can be a part of this project. Now, what do these volunteers have to do? Here are a list of steps that they can follow in order to make the e-Shram card a possibility for those in these sectors. Step 1. Volunteers must first be aware of the government scheme. For example, if it's the e-Shram scheme, they need to be aware of the eligibility criteria, about the scheme in itself, its benefits, as well as all the documents that these people would require. In this case, they would need their Aadhaar card, their phone number, and account number, as well as the nominee Aadhaar card. Step 2. Volunteers must take required permissions, either from local authorities or government bodies. Step 3. Volunteers must now help these individuals enroll on the government portals. They can go on e-Shram.gov.in, click on self-register, and then provide the required details. Once they have entered a CAPTCHA number, they will get a 12-digit unique ID, which they can provide to their beneficiaries. Volunteers must either do a door-to-door survey or they can conduct camps where they ensure that this awareness about the scheme, eligibility criteria, as well as documents are in place. Lastly, they must be given information that in order to claim the benefits of this card, they need to go on the e-Shram portal, avail the helpline number, and they can make calls. When on field, volunteers must always remember to maintain decorum, speak to the people around them in a very friendly as well as respectable manner. A couple of don'ts to keep in mind. Do not indulge in any sort of political, personal, or ideological conversations. Do not disclose your personal information or the beneficiary's personal information to anybody else in the locality or on any of your social media websites. Youth for Seva has supported in e-Shram, ABHA, as well as the Labour Card. However, remember to get official information, always go to the Government of India websites. As a volunteer, please understand that your responsibility is just to enroll them, give them their unique ID number, as well as make a claim. There might be questions where they say, how do we get our money? How do we contact you if this doesn't work? You can make them talk to the helpline number then and there, or you can give them the helpline number and say they can contact this. The helpline number works in multiple languages. You can find different numbers on the website of that particular scheme.
If you have any doubts at all, there are supporting links given in the description. Please take a look and we would love to help you out with the same. By now, we have heard a lot of people speak about fostering change in many different levels. Here's the thing about change, it takes time. And this time can leave you frustrated, angry, and just irritated about things that are happening around you. And if you feel deeply about certain issues and you just want to go out there and shout, what's stopping you? Street theatre is one of the oldest art forms that is present and practiced even today. Artists started using this particular art form to give out message of independence, give out messages to think, give out messages to enjoy the show, yes, but more so to think and transform. Street theatre does not have an elevation. Street theatre is normally performed on the flat ground, literally on the streets. Because it is such a close-knit art form, it has a personal connect. There are so many things that are around you that requires attention and change. You could observe the problem, understand the problem, and put up a play in front of them.
I've had masala dosa, idli vada.
You what doing here?
Oh, I'm a soul traveler, you know, a soul searcher.
Solo traveler.
Like person who moves around like a tourist, you know.
Tourist. ಅಳಿಯ ಅಲ್ಲ ಮಗಳ ಗಂಡ.
Oh my God! What a cute little Indian boy.
ನೀನೆ ಕೂಬೆ.
Me?
You fool, run.
You fool me.
ಯಾ ಕೊನೆಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಗುರುವೆ.
ಬೇರೆ ಹೊಸೋಲ್ಲ ಎದ್ಲೇ ಗಿರಾಕಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏ ಕುಮಾರ ಬೈದೆ.
ಏನಣ್ಣ?
ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಅವನ ಹತ್ರ?
ಅಣ್ಣ ಗೈಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಟೀನ 2000 ಅಂತ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಜ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ನಾನೇ.
ನಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಯಾ? 20 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಟೀನ 2000 ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರೋದು, ನನಗೆ 1000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರೋದು. ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಆಗೋದು. ಹಿಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗೋದು.
This particular performance we are using to communicate the message of 1098, which is a national level initiative taken by the government of India as Child Helpline. Child Helpline is a toll-free number where you can dial, and if you witness any child labor, child sexual abuse, children smoking, children being abused essentially, 1098 will come to rescue.
ಚೈಲ್ಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಲೈನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ 1098 ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕರೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಏನಾದರೂ ಈ ತರ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋದು ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
This art form has some rules. Okay, I'm gonna quickly go through the rules. A, this is normally performed in a circle. In that circle, everybody is equal. B, there is no mic or there is no electronic equipments to communicate this. It is very raw. As a street theater performer, your only valuable asset is your voice. You gotta be loud. That's a must. If you're not loud, go and shout. You will eventually become loud. All your introvertedness, all your shyness, all your public anxiety, all of that will disappear. Well, for the first time I performed, I was horrible because I was a musician who kind of transitioned into this art form. Second time I gave my worst. Third time, I gave my best. Something magical happened. Nobody clapped. Nobody honored. Nobody respected. Nobody kind of like celebrated me. And that kind of fascinated me because every time you perform, what you want to hear is the claps. But in that particular street theater performance, you might not get claps. Sometimes you might, sometimes you don't. Okay, why? Because you are there giving an information that is most probably uncomfortable to them. And when you are giving information that is fostering change, you don't need applause. What are the steps you need to take as a volunteer to put up a street theater performance? Step number 1, identify people who are dedicated artists who want to give this a shot. Here in this particular format, conviction and commitment plays a very important. It could be 10 people or 100 people. Step number 2, identify the problem area, identify the solution for the problem that exists in the problem area. Research very well, cross-check it with people who are experts, cross-check it with people who know what they are talking about. Step number 3, seek necessary permissions from police, from local bodies, from the authorities responsible. If that is something that is very difficult for you guys, collaborate with an NGO, collaborate with the change maker who is interested to do something like this. Make sure your college is with you, make sure the change maker who's trying to train you is with you, make sure the police is with you, make sure every permission is in place. Okay? Without permission, if you go and perform, please know that you could be arrested also. When we go outside and perform on streets, you will find daily wage workers, you will find slum dwelling people, you will find city dwelling people, you will find children. My goodness, you will find a lot of children. Dogs will come in. You will find people staring into you. There are people who will laugh at something that you didn't even mean as a joke. There are people who will try and talk to you in between. A lot of stuff might happen, and we gotta be ready to kind of improvise and move with the flow. Prepare a script. Don't marry the script. because anything can happen at that point of time. Be careful, keep your eyes, ears, body, senses, intuition, all of it open. Just be aware of the things that are happening outside. Have a battalion of volunteers with you when you're going out. Never go and perform alone. Your identity should not be disclosed. Your safety is very important, your identity is very important. So please make sure that your identity is hidden. Don't wear your ID card and go and perform. And last step, final step, go and perform, guys. Scream your heart out, shout your heart out, give yourself, give your 100% and more. Have fun, stay safe, foster change. So there you go. These are some simple ways of fostering and creating that impact and change that you are willing to do. I know. I've been saying simple. I know it's not simple. I'll tell you what's the hardest. It's the shift in mindset. And that can come in when you shift what you have in mind as want to need. That mind state has to shift to, this is something that I need to do. Volunteering is a need for today. Seva is something that you need to do. Take care, keep serving, and if you have any doubts at all, do write to us in the details given below. And if you are looking to further enhance your knowledge, do check out our previous videos as well and do consider serving.